car is absolutely disgusting, and it breaks my heart to see this car like this because I'm so used to it being squeaky clean. But at the same time, I almost kind of like the way it looks, and I think it looks kind of cool. Which brings me to the main topic of this video. Now, let me explain. So when did this all start? It started a couple months ago, right in the fall. Actually, the last two videos when I took the car out for a drive in Muskoka is when I started to notice a difference. And because the weather was a little bit colder, it wasn't quite summer weather, but it wasn't quite boost weather. And I did notice the car was a little bit more responsive than what I remember it to be. This was in November. I took it out again because our Mercedes had a flat and the tires were on back order. So I took the STI out. It was around 7 to 5 degrees. And then the car just came alive. And for a second, I'm like, what the heck happened? Like, why is this car behaving completely different? Like, it's so responsive. I could hear the bypass valve, I can hear a little bit of the intake. And then I started to think, wait a second, this car loves boost weather. This car actually hates summer weather because it gets heat soaked. And if you're on stock tunes, stock motor, top mount intercooler, heat soak, easy. Even if your front mount, still can happen, it's just a lot better. And so I started to think, okay, if the car loves boost weather, it loves the cold, and I know for a fact that all-wheel drive system is pretty much bar none when it comes to wintertime, then why is the car being stored in the winter when it technically, based on that logic, the car operates at its peak in the winter? Now, I can already see some of you guys coming for me in the comments saying, I told you so. And yes, a bunch of you did leave comments before saying that. What's the point in buying a Subaru if you're gonna drive it in the summer and store it in the winter? Like, what a waste of all-wheel drive. And I guess at this point, there is a lot of truth to that. And then I also started to think, like at the gym, okay, it's not about how hard I train or how hard you train the body. It depends on how you maintain, like recovery, taking care of your body, the mobility, the joints, all of that. And I'm like, okay, that kind of applies to the car too. Like, I could drive it hard, I could take it in different conditions. The problem is when I don't maintain it properly, right? We have salt in the winter, all the grime and the nastiness. If I don't maintain it, 100% the car's gonna turn into a rust bucket in probably 2-3 years. But what if I did maintain it and I just took the extra steps to maintain the car? Maybe it wouldn't be that big of a deal to winter drive it here and there.
Hold up, 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 hold up. No matter what you say, what you do, when I'm alone, I have to be with you. Fuck these other niggas, I'll be right by your side till 2005. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up.
So, question for you. How do you feel about the STI being out in the winter right now, all dirty and salty?
I personally don't really have an issue with it. I do like it better when the car is clean, but when there's fresh powder, the car actually looks very cute in the snow.
Because people are saying, what a waste of a Subaru and all-wheel drive if we don't drive it in the winter.
Listen, people, because you are rusty, crusty, musty, STIs are just out there in the slush, okay? We are not crusty, musty, rusty. So, anyways, we will take the STI moving forward out only if there is powder. If there is slush, the car will be parked. That is all.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that cars are meant to be driven and to make memories with. But I look at some local guys actually. There's a guy named Lucas Scarfone. He has a 911 GT3 Touring 992 generation. I think it's a 2022, and he already put 130,000 kilometers on it, and he daily drives it in the winter, in the snow, in the salt. And what I know about him through his social media is that he's created so many memories with that car already in just 3 years. And then there's another local gentleman. He's older, but he has a 930 turbo that he bought brand new way back in the day that now has 1.3 million kilometers on it. Now, granted, it's gone through a couple engine rebuilds, but to me, that's pretty amazing. Like, when I look at that, I just think of, man, how many memories did this guy create with his car? It probably saw road trips. It probably saw different seasons in his life. It probably saw his kids growing up and his grandkids growing up. And to me, I think what I realized was that's a lot more rewarding than having a car that's, you know, a garage princess and never sees dirt or water, rain. I mean, that's cool. You know, I think there's a place for cars like that. I just don't know if it's this car. Because the fun factor, 60% for this car almost comes from the winter and the snow. That's where this car really shines, like I said earlier. So, I guess my lesson is, I'm just gonna drive the damn car whenever I want. Whether it's dry, maybe it's wet, maybe it's snowing, maybe there's a full-on blizzard outside, which if that happens, for sure I am taking the car out. Maybe it's gross outside like it is now. It's just, roads are kind of wet, there's a bit of salt on the road, but I want to drive it, so I'm driving it. And I'm just going to make sure I do a really good job in maintaining before and after. So spending time washing out the undercarriage, the suspension components, getting the dirt from, you know, the nooks and the crevices, the door jams, all that stuff, making sure the car is well taken care of. And I think I've taken really good care of this car. Because I do that, I don't think I should have to worry about driving this car and putting miles on it and letting this car shine where it really does. So I guess that's my rant or my talk. And I know I said this at the beginning of the video, I already know the comments. Some of you commented way before saying, what a waste of an all-wheel drive car. What's the point of buying a Subaru if you're not going to drive it in the snow? And I'm going to say this, you were right. Now, I'm still not going to daily drive this car every day, because, you know, I still do want this car to last, but I probably just won't baby it the same way I used to, where the moment, you know, temperature drops below a certain temperature, this car is just going to be stored until the springtime. Like, I probably won't do that anymore. I'll just take it out when I want to, but, you know, it's a happy medium. So that's what I gotta say. Happy New Year's. And until next time, I'll see you on the next video.
Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up.